and welcome back to All Things to the Fender. Today I'm going to replace the parts of the clutch that go in the bell housing, so the thrust bearing, the thrust lever arm, and I've got a new hydraulic piston thing as well, because the old one rather worn out, so I'll replace that as well while I've got that out. So the first part I'm going to put on is the actuator for the clutch, the hydraulic piece. Straight replacement, just goes straight into the boss there that I removed it from. There we go, that was nice and straightforward. That's on. There's the new arm. This is the old one. It hasn't got the bracing across the back there to strengthen it up. So I've got this new one. I just replace all the bits on it. That's just the piece that I need there, the little actuator arm. That just clips in, a little plastic clip. Push into the little slot in the arm there, and then I shall put some grease on that before I actually fully install it all. Right, this should just fit. A little clip on the back there should slide over that pivot ball there, and the little arm there should go into the little slot, the grommet slot back there. It's a little bit fiddly. Line up the first little lever first, and that should just slide on and click into place, as so, like that. Quite difficult to see, I'll just show you. So there's the little arm, slides into the back of this actuator here, and then the ball there, I'll take it off in a moment anyway and put a bit of grease on it, and then the thrust bearing will slide onto that shaft there. One thing I have got to put on is these little sliders. They do just slide on here first before you actually install the arm. So I've just taken this back off again, pop the sliders on. They're very loose, so one little trick I've picked up is to stop them falling off is just pop a little bit of grease on the actual little spigot arms there, just to help hold them on, stop them falling off. So I'll reinstall that in the bell housing, and we'll carry on. So there we go, that's back on there now, with the little pivot arms and the little pushers on there. I just held on with a little bit of grease. Now I need to slide the thrust bearing back on, and then grease up all the parts, then this can go back on the car. So there we go, there's the thrust bearing, that just slides on. Make sure the little pads at the back are the right way around, so they're just sit into the groove on the back of the thrust bearing, and then that's it, ready to go back on. Just going to grease the spline up, that little spigot, not much at all, because we don't want any grease flinging off actually onto the clutch plate, and just the pivot points there and these points here at the back, just pop a little bit of grease on those. Again, not too much, don't want any drips getting onto the clutch plate. Right, I've greased up all the parts that I mentioned earlier on the thrust bearing, the pivot arm, and the pivot little ball joint down there with this moly grease. It's just a high temperature grease, a high melting point grease rather, so it doesn't melt and hopefully doesn't drip all over the plate. And here's the gearbox now, all completely ready to go back into the car. Got the gear levers on the top, as you can see there, and also in the bell housing we have the clutch release mechanism there and the thrust bearing. That's all in, so now we can pop it back into the car. So I've now finished this. I shall offer it up to the clutch plate in the next videos. So please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video where I offer up this to the clutch plate.